When you're living in sync with your natural rhythm, your body's natural rhythm, you stop leaking energy trying to be someone you're not. You stop fighting yourself. You stop pushing when you're actually meant to be receiving. A woman who partners with her cycle is a woman who partners with her power. And people feel that. Welcome to the Anniston Riekstins Show. This space is created for the woman coming home to her voice, her power, her way. For the woman remembering who she really is, beneath the noise, beneath the roles, beneath the world's expectations. I'm Anniston, transformational guide, spiritual teacher, best-selling author, and creator, here to walk beside you, to share stories, wisdom, and energy that guide you back home. Here, we lead from the inside out. We create from overflow, not hustle. We rise not by becoming someone else, but by remembering who we've always been. This isn't just a podcast. It's a homecoming. So let's dive in. Hey, and welcome back to the Anniston Riekstins Show. I am so glad you're here today because I have something a little different for you. As this episode drops, or at the time of this episode dropping, my family and I are somewhere on the open road in a beautiful RV, making our way across the country to our new home, our new chapter in Bozeman, Montana. It is a moment, a whole moment. And while we're in transit, literally, I made the decision to re-release a handful of episodes that women kept coming back to. Episodes that filled my DMs, that women kept sending to their friends, that I still, to this day, get messages about. So today is one of those. We're talking about cycle tracking. And I know, it doesn't exactly sound like the most thrilling topic. But stay with me because this episode quietly became one of the most impactful things I've ever recorded. Women who had never paid attention to their bodies in this way wrote to tell me it changed everything. And that was not an exaggeration. Here's what I want you to understand before we dive in. Cycle tracking is not just about fertility or periods or wellness routines. For me, it became the structure that finally let me step out of the hustle, out of that imbalanced, over-functioning masculine energy I had been living in for years, especially as I was working in corporate America for 20 years, and out of the self-sabotage and the procrastination that I could never quite explain. When I started living in alignment with my own body's rhythm, everything shifted. And I finally had a map that was actually mine. At the time I recorded this, originally, I had no idea how deeply it would land. But after the response I got, I knew I had to do more. So I actually created a 28-day guided digital program that walks you through an entire cycle, an entire 28-day cycle, step by step, day by day, because what I kept hearing from women was that they knew they needed this. They just felt completely overwhelmed about where to start. And I get it because I learned about cycle tracking about 5 years before I actually did it. And this program was created with the intention of simplifying the whole process and literally holding you by the hand through video training. So you have me and my voice and my face walking you through this the entire way. And for the month of July, I've brought the price down to $49. That's it, because I genuinely want this for you. It's my gift to you, sister, and it will be something you have lifetime access to and you can come back to again and again. Now, if you're in menopause or post-menopause, I see you. And this is absolutely still for you. Your body may no longer follow a biological cycle, but the moon does. And you can. Tracking with the lunar cycle gives you the same sort of rhythm, the same structure, the same permission to stop running at the same pace every single day. The wisdom here translates completely. The link to grab the program is in the show notes. This episode is just 20 minutes long, but it is pure gold. I promise you that. And when it lands, come find me on Instagram and tell me. Share it with every woman in your life who needs to hear it, including, yes, your daughters. Let's change this generation because she gets to have a great relationship with her body. She gets to align with its wisdom and to flow with ease and grace and alignment. Okay, let's get into it, sisters. Hey, love, welcome back to the show. Today, I want you to imagine we're just two women sitting together. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're on a walk, maybe you're just stealing a few quiet minutes for yourself. Wherever you are, this is a moment just for you and me. What I'm about to share is something I wish someone had sat me down and made me really listen to years ago. And honestly, this excites me so much because if you asked me, Anniston, what's really working for you right now? This would be it. I mean, one of many things, but this would really be it. It feels like one of my best kept secrets. And it has been so radically life changing for me that I feel like I just want to yell it from the rooftops to every single woman that I know. It's something I'm already teaching my daughter. And I truly believe we have such an opportunity as women right now to teach this to the next generation of women. So they grow up more connected, more educated, and more in tune with their own bodies than so many of us were, and our mothers and our grandmothers were. Today, we're going to talk about cycle tracking. Yes, your menstrual cycle, but not in a dry, clinical, here's another thing you should be doing kind of way. We're going to talk about it as one of the most radical, freeing, magnetic things you can do for yourself as a woman. And I want to say this right up front. If you don't bleed anymore, maybe you're in menopause, maybe you're pregnant or postpartum, maybe your periods are paused for another reason. This is still for you because your body as a woman is cyclical. When you're not bleeding, you can follow the moon. Women have always been connected to the moon. I think we've lost this a bit. Like our cycles naturally mirror her cycles. Isn't that incredible? Just like you have 4 phases each month, the moon does too. New moon, waxing moon, full moon, waning moon, mirroring menstrual, follicular, ovulation, and luteal. So when you don't have a physical bleed to track, you can follow the moon's rhythm instead. The new moon is like your menstrual phase, your winter, a time for rest and visioning. The waxing moon is like your follicular, which is fresh energy, new ideas. The full moon is your ovulation time, which is your peak visibility and connection. And the waning moon is your luteal, the time to wrap things up and release. Our bodies and the moon have always been in this sacred conversation. So no matter where you are in your life stage, this episode is for you too. When I finally stopped forcing myself to be summer all month long, when I started honoring my own seasons, that's when everything started to shift. I stopped hitting so much resistance. I stopped burning out before the finish line. And I started allowing my cycles to naturally rebalance my life. Cycle tracking was my first revolutionary act of saying, I trust my body more than the hustle. It was the first time I said, maybe she knows better than my to do list. And sister, when I actually did it, when I really integrated it, I couldn't believe how different I felt. I started launching and creating in a way that felt so much more natural to me. Instead of pushing myself to launch 5 things at once or moving straight to the next thing before the last thing had even fully landed, I began creating and launching one thing a month. In April, this past April, I launched Coming Home to Her. In May, I launched my podcast. In June, the Magnetic Woman Code. And it actually felt, dare I say, easy. One thing, fully birthed, fully lived in, and then tweaked and refined. And then I'd wait for the next idea to come, the next spark, the next cycle. It's allowed me to create more in a short amount of time, but without the burning out, without resenting my work, without feeling like I have to be on every single day. So, what is cycle tracking really? It's not just about marking the days that you bleed, it's about living in partnership with your body's natural rhythm. Noticing where you are in your cycle and working with it instead of forcing against it. Your energy isn't the same every day because you're not meant to be the same every day. You're not a machine. You're not a man. You're a woman designed to move through seasons inside and out. When you track your cycle, you'll start to see there's a week that you're a freaking powerhouse, a week where you're magnetic as hell, a week you're meant to rest, a week you're meant to clear and complete. And this is the secret rhythm that will make you magnetic. Because here's the truth: magnetism is alignment. And when you're living in sync with your natural rhythm, your body's natural rhythm, you stop leaking energy trying to be someone you're not. You stop fighting yourself. You stop pushing when you're actually meant to be receiving. A woman who partners with her cycle is a woman who partners with her power. And people feel that. So let's break this down super simply. Your cycle has four main phases, four seasons you move through every single month. So let's talk about them. The first phase in your cycle is the menstrual phase. This is your inner winter, and its themes are rest and reflection. Every woman's cycles are a bit different. Some women bleed 3 days, some 7, but on average, it's usually days 1 through 5 of your cycle. During your menstrual phase, the left and the right hemispheres of your brain are the most connected. The veil is thin, y'all. Your intuition is heightened. This is when downloads come through, when deep truths surface. Historically, women gathered together during this time. It was a sacred ceremony, a rite of passage into deeper feminine wisdom. This time was so freaking powerful that men were even wary to anger a bleeding woman. They knew she held a spiritual force that could bless or curse him. In fact, in many traditional shamanic cultures, it's believed that when a woman is bleeding, her spiritual power is so strong, it can amplify or even override the shaman's ability to lead a healing circle because she's already in her own direct ceremony with the divine. And I just want to say this, I had no idea how powerful I was during this time. I had no idea that my bleed was not gross or an inconvenience, but actually potent, sacred, and dare I say, magical. I mean, I really wish my 16-year-old tampon hiding, petrified of anyone knowing I had my period self knew about this. Somewhere along the way, a long time ago, we were taught to feel ashamed of this, to hide it, to push through it. And while we're talking about reclaiming our bleed, let's not forget that even today, in so many parts of the world, there's still so little support. Millions of girls miss school because they don't have access to basic menstrual supplies. So many governments still don't see this as a priority, and that's why it's up to us to break the shame, speak the truth, and lead the way for a world where a woman's cycle is honored, not hidden. But when you bleed, you are powerful, and you deserve to honor that power. And no, this doesn't mean you have to lock yourself away for 5 days and do nothing. That's not realistic for most of us. It means understanding you're going to need more sleep, more rest. If you can, don't overload your schedule. Create 30 minutes for a nap, an Epsom salt bath, or just quiet time to journal and receive the wisdom that is waiting for you because it is. When you give yourself this space, your cycle will support you. Your PMS eases up, your body actually will feel heard. For me, when I stopped hating my menstruation cycle and started honoring it, my PMS symptoms basically disappeared. Movement wise, think gentle walking, stretching, yin yoga, slow embodied movement. Your superpower here is your big picture vision and your deep inner knowing. Your magnetism here is being a clear channel for truth. Nothing is more magnetic than a woman who honors her rest. This is the best time for journaling, dreaming, evaluating what's working, and pulling back to receive clarity. It's not ideal for big launches, overcommitting, or even forcing yourself to be social when your body is just craving quiet and silence and stillness. Hey, sister, let's take a quick pause because I want to tell you about something I have just released. It is a free numerology quiz called Uncover the Hidden Patterns Shaping Your Life. And all you need is your date of birth. Here's what you're going to walk away with: your life path number, the curriculum you came here to master, and clarity on the hidden pattern that has been quietly running your life without you even knowing it was there. Because once you can see it, you can stop blaming yourself for it. You realize it was never a you problem. It was just a pattern you hadn't seen clearly yet. And once you can see it, you can actually do something about it. One of my clients said it best. She said, Anniston didn't just tell me about my path. She helped me remember it. That is what this quiz does. The link is in the show notes. It is free and it is worth every minute. Now back to the episode. Next up is the follicular phase. This is your inner spring. The themes are planning and executing, and typically between the days 6 through 10. This is honestly one of the best weeks of your month. You will feel like a freaking powerhouse of execution. It's like your to-do lists have to-do lists, and for once, you actually have the energy to get it all done. All those ideas that came through during your menstrual phase, this is when you bring them to life. This is your time to build, to write, to outline, to create. This is when you batch your posts or you write your emails, you map out your course, you outline that podcast episode. Whatever it is for you, this is your get it done window. You might find yourself waking up genuinely excited to get to work, early mornings, working late nights. You might even feel like you want to stay up late working because it doesn't feel heavy. It feels like you're riding this fresh wave of momentum. For me, Rudy laughs because he knows that he completely loses his wife during my follicular week because all I want to do is dive in and get it all done. And here's the thing, you can plan for this. This is not the week to necessarily book a big vacation or fill your days with rest. This is your window to move things forward. And if you work for a company or someone else, this is gold for you too. This is a great time to lean in at work, put in those extra hours if you can, tackle big projects, stay late if needed, or just knock out that detail heavy, inspiration fueled work. If you can, look at your calendar and line up those bigger tasks for these days. You'll have the energy and the spark to do it. So, when it comes to movement and exercise, this is your green light for higher intensity. So, for all my HIIT workout lovers out there or runners lifting heavier, your body can handle it beautifully right now. Your superpower here is that your energy is rising. You will feel the momentum building and you truly become this powerhouse of execution and follow through. Your magnetism in this phase is that people feel your excitement and your spark, and it's so contagious. They want to come along for the ride because your energy feels so alive, so joyful. This is really the best week to start projects, batch content, build the foundations, and execute all those ideas that were swirling around earlier in your cycle. It's not really ideal to schedule a ton of downtime or force yourself to rest too much during this week, unless your body's saying otherwise, because this is your window to just to get it done. So honor it, ride that wave. It's 1 week out of a whole month. So use it fully. It's one of your greatest gifts. Next up is ovulation. This is your inner summer. It's harvest time, baby. Time to launch, time to connect out in the world and shine. And typically this lands between day 11 and 15 or roundabouts. This is when you feel like you're glowing from the inside out. Your superpower here is your natural radiance, your openness, your magnetism. Biologically, this is when you're most fertile. Your body is literally primed to attract. Your pheromones shift. You become more naturally attractive to the opposite sex. It's like you're the pollen calling in the bees without even trying. Isn't that amazing? But it's not just about babies. This is also the peak of your cycle for birthing ideas, projects, dreams into form. Our womb is for more than just birthing humans in the world. You're fertile in every sense. Your creative energy is at its highest, your connection is strongest, your presence is magnetic. This is the perfect time to really put yourself out there. If you're planning a photo shoot, book it now for that week. If you want to speak on a stage or pitch an idea or do a live interview, record podcast episodes, this is when I usually do it. I love stacking podcast interviews and live conversations during ovulation because I have the energy, the words flow, my presence is naturally captivating. I even love to travel for business during this time because I find I don't need as much sleep. I bounce back faster from jet lag, and I have the social stamina to actually want to be out and about connecting. When it comes to workouts and exercise, keep that momentum going. This is a great time for your higher intensity workouts like running, getting on the Peloton, doing heavier lifting. You'll feel strong and resilient. This is your summer, so be seen, share your light, enjoy it. It's not ideal for a lot of solo cave time, so get out there, use these days wisely. Let people see you, feel your energy, let yourself birth what wants to come through. And then finally, we get to the final phase, which is the luteal phase. This is your inner autumn, and it's all about tying up loose ends, making final tweaks, and preparing for the upcoming release of something. It's also the longest part of your cycle, so days 16 to about 28. This, in my opinion, is one of the most challenging parts of the cycle, and here's why. It can feel like whiplash. 1 minute you're glowing, extroverted, riding that ovulation high, and then suddenly you're in your luteal phase and everything in you wants to turn inward. It's always a little shocking, a little jarring for me. It's like overnight, I go from wanting to be out in the world, connecting and creating, to wanting to be quiet, more introspective, more internal. And for a long time, I really judged myself for that shift. This is when the self-critical talk can really creep in hard. You can be so on fire about an idea, a launch, a project, and then suddenly you're doubting everything. You're second guessing, you're rethinking. And I want you to know this. That's not you being flaky or inconsistent. That's just your hormones doing what they do. The truth is, your hormones shift dramatically between ovulation and luteal. So sometimes what you're feeling isn't misalignment, it's just your body saying, hey, we're moving into a different season now. When you know this and you're aware of this, you can catch yourself before you take the downward spiral. The luteal phase can also make you a truth teller. This is when you're a lot less likely to sugarcoat or suppress what you really think and feel. So I actually don't mind recording podcast episodes or writing during this time because I find I'm more raw and real and I say what I mean. You might also notice you're more sensitive, more easily irritated by the little things. That's completely normal. Your appetite might change. You might crave more comfort foods. Your body is asking you to start to slow down. And if you don't listen, it will make you slow down. Get what I mean? When it comes to workouts, this is your time to start dialing it back. So, this is when I'll do a lot of walking. I start doing a lot of yoga, Pilates. I love Tracy Anderson workouts. So, things that aren't going to get my heart rate up too high or tax my body too much. Your superpower here is your focus, your attention to detail, and your ability to wrap things up. So, this is your season of finishing, clearing, completion, do those admin tasks, accounting. Your magnetism in this phase is in your boundaries. You know what stays, what goes, and you protect your energy and you speak your truth. There is nothing more magnetic than a woman who honors her truth and who guards her energy fiercely. This is the best time for completing those tasks, decluttering, tying up loose ends, finishing what you started earlier in your cycle. It's not so ideal for starting big new things or forcing yourself to launch. This is about harvesting, not planting seeds. So trust the shift. Let yourself slow down. Your body knows exactly what it's doing. So now that we've covered the cycles your body goes through every month, let's talk about where we often get stuck. Our very masculine conditioned minds will tell us, but my cycle's irregular, or I don't have time, or I'll start next month. That was so me for years. You don't have to be perfect, just start. Jot down what day you are on. How do you feel? Notice the patterns. You'll see your natural boost days, your tender days. It's powerful intel for planning your life with your body. Every morning, I write my cycle day in my journal. I check how I felt yesterday, I track it, and it tracks me back. It's such a freaking gift. And when you do align with your cycle, your magnetism turns all the way on because you're living in harmony with your natural frequency, your natural flow. You're not trying to be magnetic, you are magnetic just by being in tune with your own rhythm. One really practical way to start is to use a cycle tracking app. I use the Flow app, it's FLO. There are plenty out there to choose from. They make it so easy to notice patterns, how you feel on certain days, what your energy's like, what your moods are doing. What you'll find is that you start to see similarities. You'll start to see maybe you always get that boost of energy around day 7, or maybe you notice that around day 25, you tend to get more self critical. This kind of information is gold because it helps you understand your body and plan your life to work with it instead of pushing against it or making it bad and blaming and shaming. For me, every morning when I journal, I write down what day am I on in my cycle, then I look back at the day before. How did I feel? What worked? What didn't? It's a simple practice, but it's made me feel so much more connected to my own rhythm and to my own flow. You can do this on paper or just pop it into an app. Most of them will even start predicting for you what to expect next month. It's a beautiful way to come home to yourself. So, if you're craving to go deeper on this, if you're ready to stop forcing and start flowing with life, I'd like to invite you to join me for the Magnetized method. This is for you if you've never felt aligned with the chase, the hustle, the forcing, the proving, or maybe you did for a while, but now deep in your bones, you know there's another way, like a much easier way, a more relaxed, natural, aligned way to live your life and to share your purpose with the world. This is about remembering that magnetism is your birthright. It's your natural gift. You don't have to earn it. You just have to unlearn what taught you to push and relearn how to be who you really are. Inside this beautiful activation, you're going to learn how to clear out the static that blocks you, raise your frequency before the strategy, trust your natural cycles, and open your energy to receive what's already waiting for you. You'll walk away knowing exactly how to work with your feminine energy instead of against it, so your life, your opportunities, and your desires can finally meet you where you are. No more forcing, no more micromanaging, no more pushing life uphill. If you feel the nudge, I invite you to come, sister. The link's in the show notes. Bring your journal, an open mind, and a ready heart. I can't wait for you to feel what I have felt and what so many other women have felt too when life finally starts flowing towards you instead of away from you. I love you. Here's to remembering your rhythm and letting your magnetism lead the way. I'll catch you on the next episode, sister. Till then. Thank you for being here, beautiful soul. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to pass it along to another woman who might need these words today. And if you feel called, it would mean so much if you would take a moment to rate and review this podcast. It's one of the best ways to support this work and help these messages reach more women who are ready to remember who they are. And if you'd like to stay connected or share what's landing for you, come find me over on Instagram. I'd love to meet you there. Until next time, keep trusting your rhythm. Keep honoring your voice and keep becoming the woman you were always meant to be.